If you are Zimbabwean and you are saying you're a politician and you are fighting for the liberation of Zimbabwe, you are a struggling warrior. And if you by now do not understand that the number one problem of Zimbabwe, the instigator of all the pain in Zimbabwe, is King Charles III. If you do not understand that, you are forever going to be hitting bushes and never getting to the answer. You will be going to the left, sent to the right, sent up, sent down, wondering how things are going to be fixed in Zimbabwe. I've told you, the number one hater of Zimbabwe progress is King Charles III and the British monarch. Anything that involves the British, you should know it goes along with suffering for black Zimbabweans. Those people have demonstrated that they hate us year in, year out, with everything that comes out of their mouth and out of their action is designed or geared towards keeping us poor, including the way that they have undermined this channel itself is an example of their desire to keep voices of truth to be buried so that nobody can really get to know the truth of how to set the country free. So it is Idim Nangagwa's duty to save the interest of King Charles. That is why we need to remove Idim Nangagwa, whether King Charles wants or not. Of course, King Charles doesn't want Idim Nangagwa to go. Because if Idim Nangagwa goes, who is going to do his bidding? Who's going to be destroying the Zimbabwean infrastructure on behalf of the British? Who is going to be killing the Zimbabwean schools on behalf of the British? You see, they need a black person to blame. They need someone to blame who is one of us. And that is E.T. He's doing his job very well. So if you're Nelson Chamisa, do you not think that going to the British and asking for their favor, to help you, they're not going to help you remove it. They're the ones who put him in power. They're the ones who maintain him in power. All of this thing of putting sanctions is just to blind you Zimbabwe so that you do not know what's going on. If you really need Zimbabwe to be free, you need to know we need to be free from the British monarchy. The British Empire still has got its tentacles on Zimbabwe, not for the purposes of aiding this so-called former colony, but it's actually, in my view, still a British colony, but they're not admitting it. The tentacles are there to ensure that there is not development. They didn't like it that Robert Mugabe developed our education system. Remember when they gave the country to Robert Mugabe, it was because they didn't want to give it to Joshua Nkomo. Joshua Nkomo's intention was to liberalize the economy of Zimbabwe and bring black people into the economic circle. Robert Mugabe said, no, I'll leave the economy in the hands of the whites. But Robert Mugabe, unwitting or unknowingly, or they didn't explain to him that you are supposed to make your people suffer, he built an education system that is world class, even better than the British. And they didn't like that. He had to go. They had to give ASAP to him. You understand? And even when we took our land, they didn't like that. They had to come up with all those sanctions. The British are evil. The British are evil to the core. They have got no interest in uplifting black people. They only have interest in abusing black people because black people are in lands with resources. And power in the hands of a black man is something that is very scary to the British. They and their fears is not just about that a black person is going to do something terrible when it's powerful. No, their fear is that their lie is going to be exposed. Their lie that white people are better than black people. That's all it's all about. Ego centric. They are driven by male chauvinism. This ego to feel like that we must worship them and think that whites are better than blacks. Therefore, if a black government is allowed to succeed without input from white people, the rest of the black people around the world will begin to view themselves as something valuable. It is that shame that black people carry that the British Empire seeks to impress in our DNA so that we will always think that we are black, we are useless, we're shameful, we are good for nothing, when we cannot do anything unless if a white man comes and aids us. That is why you black people in Harare need to transform mentally and understand that to take our country forward, you need to hold the bull by the horns. We build our country ourselves without British input. We can get help from other friendly countries that want to build together with us. China would not refuse to help us build our country. Japan will not refuse to help us build our country. And for now, I do not see much of a resistance from the United States. I mean, even though there is a lot of United States senators themselves who hate black people, there's a lot, especially in the Republican Party, who hate black people, who don't want us to see succeed. But there is the Democrats who have got no problem with seeing black people succeed. So there is room for growth. And I'm not saying that we are waiting for the Americans to help us. No, I'm way past that stage. I am not waiting for America. I'm not waiting for China. I'm not waiting for anyone. I'm waiting just for the Zimbabweans to grow mentally. I'm waiting for the people in ZANU-PF to develop a certain mindset. I'm waiting for the people in Triple C to develop a certain mindset. I'm waiting for the general population in Zimbabwe to develop a certain mindset that a black man can lead, a black man can build, a black man can grow. Let us grow, my people. Let us grow in knowledge. Let us acquire knowledge. You don't need to go to Harvard or Cambridge, because here's the thing: at Harvard or Cambridge, they will teach you something that is written in a textbook that you can find in a bookstore. But the only difference is they give you the stamp of approval. You see, you still have that colonized mindset to think that unless I get a paper from Harvard that says I've got a degree in finance, therefore I do not have a knowledge in finance. Just buy a finance textbook and read and know, and come build our country. All right. We do not need validations from them. You will hear a lot of oppressed mindsets speaking about qualifications from European institutions, as if we cannot qualify ourselves by gathering information in ourselves. This is a war. This is a uh, this economy actually, or this war economy is an information war. All right. I need you Zimbabweans to get lineage right now. The reason why the British want you to take passports and work in these low wage earning jobs is because they want to inundate you with so much labor that you do not have time to seek wisdom and understanding and knowledge on how to build. If we were in our country and not working 3 long shifts for British patients, you will be studying on how to build roads, how to educate your children, how to develop our water infrastructure, how to take care of our environment. I will create jobs as the president of Zimbabwe across the virus spectrum of the society, and you will have imisebenzi elohlonzi, imisebenzi enesidima, imisebenzi enengqubela phambili, enentuthuko phakathi, ebonisa ukuthi njani singabantu siyisizwe siyakwazi ukuphilisana thina sodwa. Hayi le midlwane eyenzakala eHarare manje engathi abantu yimidlwane. Engathi sebobantu. And all that is sponsored by the British in order for you Zimbabweans will never come to a place of rest. Oh, please take a Sabbath. Rest, my people. Rest, Triple C. Rest, ZANU-PF. Rest from fighting each other like you are little puppies. That is exactly what the British want you to be doing. I need you to be strong minded and have strong willpower to force a change that benefits all of us, and make sure that you don't take calls from the British. I don't care who they are. If you've got British friends, cut them off, because they are going to take you off balance and make you feel that you are less of a person because you are black. Therefore, you need their British input, not anymore. It must go and rest in Kwekwe. He has got a nice farm in Kwekwe. He could be a good farmer, advising fellow farmers in Zimbabwe. We can make him an ambassador for wheat farming. He is good at wheat farming, and then he can retire. Let the old man retire. Forgive him of Kokora and keep him safe from the ICC, because I know that the British Empire is also having a gun on Itim Nangako to tell him, destroy the country or else we will destroy you. So our father it is shaking, not knowing what to do. So I do not want you to be blaming Itim Nangako too much. Blame King Charles. We just remove him, put him in his farm there, let him have fun, enjoy life, his wife and family, and his children must bring back some of the stolen money. Indeed, it has to be. And they know where it is. They must just bring that money to rebuild our country together. We don't put people like that, you don't put them in jail. And then neither do you promise them jail. People like that are going to be punished by God, not us humans. Us as human beings, we need to understand our enemy is the British Empire that wants us to always be at war. No more elections at the moment. We have elections later, but let's not talking about these by elections, this song which thing. We need now to create a government that was going to push an agenda of development in Zimbabwe. Let no international community stand against the development of Zimbabwe. I am waiting for this one country in the international community that's going to raise up its hand and be against the developmental agenda of our new government. I want to ask them a very fine question. Why in the hell would you want to stop us from developing our own country? For who is stopping you from developing your own country? That is a question I'm going to ask any leader around the world who's going to ask me stupid question on why are you developing Zimbabwe. How dare you ask me such a stupid question? Are you telling me that us as black Zimbabweans do not have the right to development? And who are you to think that you alone, you and your people alone, should be allowed to develop, and my black Zimbabweans are not allowed to develop? You're crazy. That's craziness right there. That's international mafia craziness right there. I don't care who you are. I am taking Zimbabwe to a place of glory, to a place of sanctification. Yes, sir. Place of sanctification. Because my people have been bothered by lies from the West so much that they are forced to be polarized, hating each other, fighting each other, commotion in the political streets. All of it shall be quietened at once. This song is a chabango, recalls, all of this pain, the soldiers shooting people, all of those pain. We sit together as a family, even those soldiers, those police, those CIO, that triple C, as Zimbabwean, and no British involved. I don't want to see any British face in our negotiations, in our talk as a family, and how we go forward. Because that British face is a stooge sent by King Charles to disturb us. Clearly, the British Empire has demonstrated to us black Zimbabweans that they hate us, they undermine our progress, and they really look with disdain anything that we are building, and therefore we do not want them to be part of it. Okay? Thank you, Britain. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Cheerio. Go away. Go to your Britain. Robert Mugabe told this British, he said, Tony Blair, keep your British and I'll keep my Zimbabwe. The great man Robert Mugabe told them that I have never asked for an inch of Britain, and why must Britain be concerned about an inch of Zimbabwe? I'll tell you, it's because they are thieves. They are nothing but liars, deceivers, and thieves. These British, they come to our country to steal our land, to steal our resources, to steal our wealth, to steal our common wealth, to steal the integrity of the well-being of our people. They've stolen our health system, stolen our infrastructure and education system through their stooge Itim whom they actually are using under duress. I do not believe that President Itim Nangagwa actually desires this destroyed economy. I believe that he is under duress and he is under pressure from this international mafia who force him to do what he is doing. And therefore, us as Zimbabweans, we need to forgive him. For that reason, we need to set Mnangagwa free from the cage that the international mafia has put him in and begin to rebuild our country. free ourselves. If you are with me, like and comment below and say, yes, sir, I am with you. Let us build the country and take a country to a place of hope, to a place of glory. Because hope alone has to be aided by action. Action is faith in God. Faith also not only in God, but also in yourself. Faith that the God that lives in you has enabled you and given you power and performance so that you'll be able to perform well in building the future for ourselves and for our children. This is the clarion call to bring you all Zimbabweans to a place of sanctification. Yes, I said sanctification, where we have to purify ourselves of our own evil, of our own greed, of our own hatred against each other, of our own evil schemes against each other to please the British masters. I need you to divorce from your British masters and declare and decree from today onwards that the British are no longer your masters. You are the masters of your own destiny. Zimbabwe, wake up and smell the coffee. The British are not your friend. We can make new friends around the world. There is the Chinese, and there is a group of people in Washington who will help us, who will be friendly to our cause and be aligned with us. As we enter a global order, a global system of the free world, respecting human rights, a human rights agenda is essential in destroying all limiting beliefs and all these debilitating, painful tactics from the British Empire. We allow our people to exercise freedom of speech, their political rights, their financial liberty. People need the right to financially succeed without being stopped by politics or politicians or politically connected individuals. A free market economy that allows individuals, both local and foreign, to prosper in Zimbabwe. Let Zimbabwe be a city on a hill. Let us be the shining torch of Africa for Africans through independence to follow the lead of Zimbabwe. I do believe that agenda is achievable in our nation, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe if we come together as Zimbabweans and stop worrying about our little differences and discover that the greatness that we can achieve if we disown our little differences, but really rather be bounded by that which brings us together, that which makes us Zimbabwe. The greatness that we shall be is far surpasses any greatness that any of you think would achieve by eliminating the others. This is a call even to the elite in Harare, who might think that destroying the nation will enrich themselves only and therefore do not believe in a sharing economy. But I need to tell you something, that whatever growth that you believe you've accumulated, the international mafia led by King Charles III is going to destroy you, is going to take it away from you anyway. So you are not rich. You might have billions being all over the world, but King Charles has got tentacles all over the world. He will take that money and confiscate you and tell you about human rights abuses, even though he himself is a major human rights abuser. And therefore, if you want to build Zimbabwe forward, the Zimbabwe elite, listen to me. My name is Ngobani Zondo. Let me lead you. Trust the process and trust our Lord. Trust his instruction. Trust his guidance and trust his choice. And his choice is here to tell you that to move forward, break the umbilical cord of the British. Zimbabwe will never be a colony again. My name is Ngobani Zondo. Let us spread the word and get our country free. from our colonial masters. Holy is the Lord. Libe lelanga elihle badala bami.